Hi, my name is Shreya Kumar, and I'm a second year MBA student here at Cornell Johnson. I am so excited to introduce you guys to session 3 of Leaders in Emerging Markets, where today we have an incredible guest with us, Mma, who is going to be talking to us about the debt crisis in Africa and how economic policy is affecting that today. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to get started on the class. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your career?
Okay, so I have a background in economics. I went to Mma Ekeruche University of Science and Technology, Ghana. I did my undergrad there in economics. And then I went to University College London. I did my master's in economic policy there. So, but after that, I got opportunities in sectors other than economics, right, or fields other than economics. So I worked in oil and gas servicing for a couple of months. I also did research for an organization focused on the third sector, which is basically philanthropy, right? Yeah. And then after that, after those 2 short stints, I got an opportunity at the center. Started, as a research associate in 2017, grew to research fellow, grew to senior research fellow, and that's basically it. I consult on the side as well. My research focus is sovereign debt and public finance management, macroeconomic management, and domestic resource mobilization, i.e. tax. So that's basically the summary.
Thank you so much for that wonderful description of your amazing career. You've had such diverse experiences, and I think we're all so excited to hear specifically what you think the most current and pressing issues are for economic development finance, specifically in Africa.
Okay, great question. For me, the most pressing issue when it comes to finance, right, is the extent to which the global financial architecture doesn't serve the needs of developing countries, in particular African countries. Yes, Latin American countries have similar issues, but the gravity of the situation is felt mostly in Africa, right? So for instance, 45%, is it 45% or even 60% of the continent is indebted, right? And this is not our first stint or our first debt episode, right? We've had recurring debt crisis in the continent. After the crisis, we follow the rules in quotes, which are usually proposed by Bretton Woods institutions, right? However, the situation only worsens. After a while, we see ourselves returning back to the problem, right? And this is very important to me because finance touches on literally every other thing, right? Finance is important for health, it's important for education. You need finance to solve the climate issue, right? For unemployment, right? So for migration, you see a lot of Africans moving here, so for infrastructure, you can go on and on and on and on, right? So it's important that we get that African perspectives are infused into the remodeling of the global financial architecture, right? And not only our perspectives, but that the implementation is done right. Yes, so that's basically my response.
Well, that was a very long question, so you condensed a lot into a very concise answer. So thank you for giving us that overview. I think as you're talking to an MBA audience, one of the things we'd love to hear from you is some insights you have on leadership.
Okay, so my insights on leadership would be mostly based on my experience as a researcher, right? Mid-level researcher. So I've worked at the center for 7 years, and I've learned so this is based on my lived experiences, right? Leadership, I think the first rule of leadership is to treat those you're leading the way you want to be treated, right? If you want those you're leading to do work, then do work. Lead by example, right? So that's the first rule of leadership. The second rule, in my opinion, is to lead with integrity, right? So again, there are certain, you can lead and not be transparent, right? You can lead and have ulterior motives, right? But it's important that as much as you can, lead with integrity, right? Leadership is service, in my opinion, right? If you find yourself at the helm of affairs or, you know, at a senior position, right? You are there to serve and not for your interest. I'm not saying don't look out for yourself, do, but there is always a larger calling, right? Don't be so myopic. Yeah, there's always a larger calling. And then finally, I would say lead with kindness. Yeah, you're leading human beings, right? So you're not leading robots, right? So take that into consideration when you're leading.
I love that answer, and I think it really represents a lot of the current issues you were mentioning that are faced about being a representative of all these different things that are happening in the economy and finance, and how you can bring those into the decisions that they're making in fiscal and monetary policy. Awesome. Well, we are so excited to get to the class today. Do you have, can you share with us a little bit of an overview of what you are going to be covering with us today?
Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about how debts is rising in Nigeria and also in other African countries. And more importantly, so I'm going to be talking about the drivers as well, so why this is happening, the impacts, how it plays out, but more importantly about what we can do, right, to address the issues with the global financial system.
Amazing. Well, we are so excited. I can't wait to get to class.
And also, not only will it be accepted, will it be biased as well? Because if the African Union is the one, you know, developing or starting economic.
Here you see a future leader in Nigeria.
Yes.